Welcome, welcome to the Court of Foul. My name is Richter, your court mage, always at your service, and happy Friday. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope your Fridays are, I'm guessing, depending on which part of the world you're in, about to start. Okay, and others, like in mine, we're winding down on Friday and looking forward to the weekend. Hope you guys are doing good. And boy, do we have quite a bit to talk about with the Game Awards having just concluded roughly how many hours ago? 12-ish, maybe, I think, I want to say. Like 12 hours or something ago. Hello, Brock. Hello, Humpty Dumpty. Hello, Raymaru. Welcome to the stream. How am I? I'm doing good. I am a little pressed for time. I have a couple things I need to finish up before the weekend because I am heading out tomorrow. And there are a couple of things I'll kind of want to sort out before I do. Otherwise, I'll never have time to do it this weekend. But other than that, I'm pretty excited because I'm going to be able to... thank you for the follow, Blue Lightning 714. Welcome. Hope you enjoy your stay. But yeah, I'm excited because tomorrow I'm gonna head out to some place, and I may run into some stuff that I might buy. Depending, it really depends on what I see. If I see something I like, I might pick it up. You know, preparing my wallet for such for such fortuitous incidents. Yeah, basically, if I find something I like, I'm gonna go buy it tomorrow. Otherwise, you know, maybe I don't go home with anything. That's possible. I'm gonna be on the lookout for some deals though. Maybe for cards. I might pick up maybe some MTG cards tomorrow. Maybe some figures if I find something that I really like. What manner of capitalism is this? The best kind. The best kind. It's if you find something you like and it makes you happy, you buy it. But yeah, so you know that's what do you call it? That is what I am looking forward to tomorrow. And I'm gonna need to have an early start because I need to go in the morning before the lines all pile up. Which, you know, I hope I can beat the traffic too, because I'm very, very sure that it's gonna be a very crowded event. Anyway, that aside, we do have a lot, you know, we have some other things to talk about today, though. About the recently concluded Game Awards 2024. It played out for the most part what I was kind of anticipating. There were some swerves. Another year without Silksong news. Well, James, I have no idea what Silksong is. I'm gonna have to look that up. What is that Silksong? Felt better as a show overall. I still feel like that. I agree with some of the sentiments that the Game Awards is basically one giant ad. It's like the biggest. It's like if you got this. It's basically if you got the Super Bowl and inverted the amount of time that you had between the actual game and the ads. That's what it felt like. You went to a bazaar a while ago, and surprisingly, taking a train is the best way to beat the holiday traffic jam. I see. It is the last-minute Christmas shopping for a lot of people, so that is gonna be something I need to remember. Also, Silksong. Oh, is that Hollow Knight? Is the result I'm getting for it. No news on Hollow Knight Silksong. Okay. I have not yet actually played Hollow Knight. I have seen it played a lot. but I have not picked it up myself yet because there's so much games that are just not on what do you call it? That are just I don't have the time, you know. I think the show was good, maybe a bit too long, but only expected some different Game of the Year and final announcement. I see. Okay, I kind of want to go over it so we can kind of, go into some detail and maybe some of the statistics about it and some of the thoughts I have, as well as some of the, game announcements and, teasers and whatnot. Because again, I feel like majority of the show was just like, yeah, these are all the upcoming games. These are all the upcoming expanded content that's coming out. And understandably, I guess it's like it's more ad than it is award show, especially with how they treated some of the awards. It's like, all right, here's the award. This is the award. This is nominee A, nominee B, nominee C, nominee D. The winner is C. Next category. It's like, come on, put some fucking pizzazz in it. I agree that it needed a bit more pizzazz for more of the categories. People seem to forget that the award was basically a marketing campaign. Yeah. Like, I wish it wasn't the case. Like, I wish... This is why this is why sometimes people can't take the games industry very seriously. If awards like these do not kind of take the time to show that these games are, in fact, works of art that people put their blood, sweat, and tears into, maybe more people would treat it like that. I feel like it has to, this is an opportunity for, the games industry to kind of make it something worth watching. Yeah, there's that. Gonna steal that bear, the boiling kind. What bear? Oh, the one behind me. No, don't touch the bear. Leave it alone. It's just hanging. It's just vibing. All right, Red Cat? Chill. I wish they gave all categories a proper spotlight. Exactly. Like, they only gave, the really big stuff towards the last, 3 or 4 categories. And I feel like that should have been, across the board. I feel like that they need to give more attention, more care to every single category so that people think that those categories are worth, pushing a hard effort for. How are you going to expect people to take, strategy games and simulation games properly if you're going to just breeze through the award? Like, it's not worth your time. It should be. Just because it's not the big one, the big game of the year, doesn't mean it deserves any less amount of praise for being the best in its category. The funny enough, watching the Academy and Emmys feels kind of cringe. They are trying to be trendy or something. Unless Steve Buscemi with doing Young Fellows. Yeah. Okami sequel. That's a hype. That's hype news. Also, welcome Arch Coffee Man, sir. Welcome, welcome. That is long overdue. The Okami sequel. I know a bunch of people who would be absolutely floored to hear the news of an Okami sequel. And I can only imagine that with the kind of tech we have today versus the PS2 era tech. Oh man, that is gonna look amazing. And they brought back Hideki Kamiya? Yeah, Hideki Kamiya for Okami. which will probably be a PS5 exclusive before being ported a year later. I am actually not 100% sure about that. Which studio again? Capcom? It's Capcom, right? Yeah, Capcom. It's Capcom. I don't think they do. I don't think does Capcom do platform exclusive? It's gonna be multi-platform, but I don't think that they had an exclusivity. Have they had any like exclusivity games as of late? They stopped with Street Fighter V. Yeah, because like Monster Hunter Wild is multi-plat day one. I don't see any reason why they would gate Okami for the PlayStation in that way. I feel like more and more companies are seeing that platform exclusivity does not pay off anymore. You know? Like, it just doesn't. I don't think consoles are willing to bleed out that much money for exclusivity contracts to make it worthwhile in those, like, you know, opportunity... what's the word I'm looking for? Like when you don't, like, you know, for the sales that they potentially lose for being console exclusive or like platform exclusive. I don't think consoles are willing to pay that money anymore. Especially with how expensive games are to make. Which is also kind of, I guess, partly, what do you call that? It only makes more sense if they need more funding to stay exclusive. Yeah. Like, because games have generally become much more expensive to make, it is harder, like, then, if they want to be exclusive, consoles or, you know, specific platforms need to pay that much more money to compensate the sales that they might otherwise get day one. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to me that Okami would be an exclusive, like even a timed exclusive. Even Square Enix is doing away with that, you know? Like their recent, what do you call it? Their recent, what was it? Shareholder, like, meeting notes and stuff. They were talking about going for multi-platform as their kind of strategy moving forward. Because clearly their exclusivity contracts, or even their their timed exclusivity contracts with Sony were not working out. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of the way we're going at right now. Bravely 2 was a struggle because of being exclusive. Huh, I actually never got around to catching up with Bravely 2. That's the Bravely Default sequel, right? Isn't there like another kind of sequel, or with more of a spin-off? I don't remember. Bravely, was it another one? I remember there was another Bravely game, I think. Welcome Zora. Bravely Second. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Bravely Second. Yeah. Those are two separate games, weren't they? Or am I thinking of, or am I completely off if those are two actually very different games? I may be mistaken on that, especially if the titles are that similar. But anyway, going back to the award, Bravely 2 is completely different. I see. Got it. The titles are so similar. I hate that. I hate the fact that Bravely 2 and Bravely Second are like two completely unrelated games. I hate that. My brain is mush right now. Oh no, take it easy, Zora. Take it easy today. Have some breakfast, chill. It's a Friday. You know, nobody can be bothered to do shit on a Friday, so just relax and enjoy while we talk about the games, the Game Awards. But yeah, I feel like, Koro, to answer your question, we're kind of just talking about it, the Game Awards in general, overall. in that they kind of need to do better in giving each category more um, more attention, more time, and treat it with like the reverence that it kind of deserves. Did you tell them Koto's super smart thoughts? I can't remember which one. You have many super smart thoughts. You'll have to remind me on which specific thought you're referring to. But yeah, like each category needs to be given more attention, more time, so that people can actually, so that people understand that these categories are worth striving for. Nobody's gonna want to make a really good sim or strategy game if you're gonna just breeze through the category in 5 seconds or less, like you were trying to do a speed run just to get it out of the way. Basically about the time thing. Yeah. What do you call it? Because I had a brief conversation with Koto about that the one who presented the award best was actually Snoop. And I think that was for best ongoing game, I think. Snoop Dogg. Was it best ongoing? Yeah, best ongoing game. Because he kind of he made it a little like he added some excitement to it. He paused. He made you anticipate what the award was going to be, and then bam! You're finally out of the bread display. You're in a home now, being used as a pillow. Excellent. There is nothing more comfy than being used as a pillow, bread cat. Enjoy it. Life is good. Yeah. Let's see. So let's go over some of the awards that were given out. So let's see. Player's voice. It went to Wukong. Unsurprising that Wukong got the Player's Voice Award, because there were a lot of people that were really like excited for Black Myth Wukong. You know, a lot of people were really raving about it. Personally, I haven't gotten around to it, and I haven't really seen a lot of like the actual reviews around it, so I'm not sure. Like, you know, I haven't experienced the game myself to have any actual like opinion or an informed opinion about the game, but it's been talked about a lot. Way better than a random gacha would win. I feel like it's also, I also feel like that one of the controversial things that was noted going into the awards was also the inclusion of Shadow of the Erdtree. And I kind of understand the reason for it, because it should be its own category, if anything. I feel like it's not very, like, it doesn't leave a good impression if you're going to have a category for a game, you know, like an award for new games, right? Go to what is basically an expansion. Like, understandably, some expansions are really big, right? That they are really impactful. But, you know, it's not the same. Best DLC category. They used to have a category for expansions, yes, until live service games became a thing. And they figured, you know what? Let's just change that to best ongoing game. I love how they kind of stepped away from using the term live service because of the very, very unpopular connotation of the term live service game. You know? So they decided to go with best ongoing game. As if that actually changes anything. General Kogi, welcome. And hello, Nito. Ahoy! Welcome aboard to all the new folks who were just walking in. We are yapping still about the Game Awards. And we're talking about how Shadow of the Erdtree should have just been chucked into its own category. You know, bring back like deals. Okay, I guess the conundrum would be that nobody makes DLCs or expansions in the same way as the way we used to. Welcome, Kotek. Welcome aboard. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? And we're discussing the Game Awards and a lot of thoughts that I have about it. Came for the new room, staying for the tea. Ah, you'd like some tea? Hang on, give me a minute. Let me throw in some tea for you. Ah, chotto. Let me get some tea. Yeah. There we go. Let me throw in some tea for you. It's a little big. There we go. Here's another tea. This is for you guys. Okay, this tea is for you guys. I have mine in my cup. The one on the table is yours. Got it? Now, kind of unfair for other games to be given a proper spotlight, especially since you still need the base game and have to progress a lot of time before accessing it. So it can't count as a full game treatment. Yeah. I have coffee at the moment, but drink both. I don't discriminate on caffeine. Exactly. You drink it for what it does to your body. Or having the like hard agree. Should have put Shadow of the Erdtree in any other category. Or have the multiverses thing as well, where they put in the game again as it fully released this year. Anything that caught your eye from the announcements? Particularly, I would say, for me, I feel like most of the awards were pretty okay. I don't have too many, most of my predictions were mostly on point. The only thing that I feel like I have like my personal disagreement, the multiverses thing is a negative point for me, by the way. They shouldn't have put it again this year. Yeah, I mean, it happens, I suppose. But yeah, I feel like there should be like new content should be its own category. But I understand it can be difficult to kind of categorize that in its own way because of just how varied the experience can be from added content to added content, right? You can have DLC as big as Shadow of the Erdtree, or you can have it be as small as a fucking piece of horse armor, right? So it is a hard category to judge because of how broad, you know, the content, the kind of content you can put out, you know, can be. Thoughts on Marvel Rivals? I'm enjoying it. I played it like a couple times this past week. I enjoyed it. Brings me back to the old, Overwatch days when it first launched. I think Multiverse is just a filler, but jury will still not vote for it. Yeah, I feel like that may be the same case with Shadow of the Erdtree. Maybe they didn't feel like they had enough games to slap into that category and wanted to get people's attention by putting Shadow of the Erdtree into it. But yeah, wasn't even in Best Ongoing Game. See, that's the thing. If they had put Shadow of the Erdtree into its own, like, what do you call that? Into its own, like, DLC, you know? I believe the continued support category or agree to have a DLC be a different category. Yeah. Ongoing games should go explicitly for live service games. Things like, what do you call that? Things like Destiny, Diablo 4, Fortnite, those. Apex, right? Those should be, those are ongoing games. DLC should be things, Warframe, best should be in the ongoing game category. But something like Dawn Trail, for example. Dawn Trail should should count as expansion slash DLC, because it is a boxed set of content that is added to an existing thing. It's not, it's a halfway between ongoing game, but it's kind of boxed in a very specific, fashion, right? You have a specific singular product that you added to a game versus something like Destiny, where you have where you have smaller chunks of stuff that you add over the course of a year, Whereas Dawntrail, you can clearly delineate where the beginning of Dawntrail ends and where the end of Dawntrail is, right? So yeah, FF14, yeah, base FF14 is ongoing. Expansion and the Dawntrail is basically an expansion. You can technically have the game in both categories. Yeah, it has to be semi to full game experience, but have prerequisites like requiring it to own and finish the base game. Yeah, I feel like they do need to kind of maybe redefine the categories of their awards to kind of reflect the environment of the gaming industry today. I meant the community support category, not the ongoing game. Oh, okay. I believe. Oh, okay, yeah. Community support under free updates. Ah, okay, I get what you mean. What is then their main what do you call that? Like, how do they even define? I'm actually a little confused now. How exactly do they define what is like the category for best community support? What does that even mean? Now that I think about it, it can become an exception if the expansion is a standalone game. Be it like it can be like what was that game? Shoot, what was that Saints Row game? That was kind of like a standalone spin-off. I forgot what it was called. I know there was a Saints Row game that fits that category. Can't remember the title though. Gat Out of Hell. Free patches, update, community events. Oh, I feel like if that is the definition of best community support, that's a little bit overbroad. I feel like what they can do is that between ongoing game and community support, they should have like 3 general categories. Have you seen the Helldivers 2 one? What do you mean? What in terms of Helldivers 2 one? But yeah, I feel like with ongoing game, community support, and then have like DLC or expansion. Helldivers 2 Shadow Drop, I don't think I have. I know that there's the wait, is that the new content that they're adding? The new Warbond, or is that just like the new faction? The new enemy faction, new content? Ah. I've seen part of it. I haven't seen it in its entirety yet. If I remember, it has something to do with the community being involved. Oh, got it. Yeah. Then I think what they should do is ongoing game should just be like small form content that's kind of incrementally added to the game. That isn't just like a singular big drop of content. Like DLC / or expansion, right, should be a sizable chunk that does not happen often. Like expansion packs of the days of old. Whereas something like Destiny, Diablo 4, Fortnite, Apex, where you have where you work in seasons, then that should be ongoing game, right? I feel like if your game has a battle pass, it should fall under live service game. So I feel like that should be its kind of like category. If you produce content, if you add new content for your game on a fairly regular interval, and you have a battle pass, you're a live service game. Like, what? Can you guys think of a live service game that does not have a battle pass? Like, Fortnite has battle passes, right? Diablo 4 has battle passes. I'm actually not sure about Diablo 4. I have not played it. I have not touched it. So you guys tell me if Diablo 4 has battle passes or not, because I could be talking to out of my ass here. Destiny 2 has battle passes. D4 has essentially battle passes. Got it. Gacha games, for the most part, Diablo 4 has terrible battle pass, but it has one. Let's see. But yeah, so I feel like battle passes kind of now are a defining feature of a live service game. FF14 does not have such a battle pass, so I think it should be Path of Exile doesn't have battle passes. Oh shoot, yeah. But it counts as a live service game because it's continuously. Is it steady incremental updates? Or does it have like chunks of does it work in expansions? I think FF14 Crystalline Conflict has battle pass. Oh, that's true. Yeah, but that's like a sub game. It has entire seasons, aka leagues, which are free. Oh, okay. So maybe it's more of seasons then. The thing about a Crystalline Conflict, Reinmaru, is that it is a sub game of FF14. It is not the game of FF14. They entirely finance themselves off of microtransactions, which are purely cosmetic. I see. Okay, so I feel like then, in the case of, in the case of ongoing live service games, if you operate in seasons, you are a live service game. If you operate by expansion packs, then you are, then you are not an ongoing game in the same sense. You have like expansion packs and that kind of added content. Yeah, I feel like that should be like a bigger like category. I don't know how to word that properly though, but you guys get it, right? WoW is not live service, but it is an ongoing game. It operates in MMO. No, WoW is not a live service. It operates in expansion packs. I wonder if added raids later via patches does count. I would say in the case of FF14, it's probably both. I would say it's probably both. Like it is both like live service in the sense that it has added content in a similar vein as as like a lot of live service games do, but it does have like big drops. I would not count WoW as a live service because WoW is in the same vein as like FF14, where it's an MMO, where yes, there is an aspect of the game that is continuously being played and stuff is being added to it in incremental pieces, but it also has like categorical chunks of like big chunks of content that it releases as a set, what's that? The battle pass should have proper rewards for free users and just double the rewards for paying users and have some of the battle passes with 0 expiry date. I feel like that is like a separate conversation in and of itself with how battle passes function. Anything that is MMORPG can count as live service. Add some as free content updates from content expansion. Yeah, that kind of. So I would say it counts as both live service in the sense where it is an ongoing game. It is like, it continuously adds new content at smaller chunks and intervals. It just so happens that it also has expansion packs, which are like big, sizable blocks of content that gets dropped all in one go. Warframe has neither DLC or expansion, which are bought nor battle passes. I see. But Warframe does still count as a live service game, yes? In the sense that it is in the strict sense where it is a game that is continuously being updated. So yeah, I would say then, I would say that even that all MMOs technically count as live service games, whether you like the name of the category or not. Because if we're counting just that live service games are games that are continuously updated in small increments over time beyond its initial release, then it is a live service game. And patches, patches do not count. Sports games are live service games. They are now, apparently. But I suppose they are, but at the same time, they're like the worst kind. MMOs are the traditional live service games. I think you were really just arguing the payment format, whether subscriptions, expansions, or both. I don't think that those are, I wouldn't really say that those are like payment formats per se. Because I feel like the definition, if we're talking about the definition of a live service game, it's just a game that gets updated, that is continuously being updated with new stuff after the game releases, right? And I think maybe the biggest part of it is that it has no end in sight. I think that's probably the biggest, I would say that's probably the biggest indicator that it's not just about adding content to it periodically, but adding content to it is the actual business model. It is a game that is built to have content added to it in perpetuity. Do you guys agree with that definition? That a live service game is a game that is built to be expanded upon for as long as it can. What do you guys think? Any gacha that owns up to being one has a better model? Gacha, yeah. Sport games, I think they needed to be. It's so weird. But MMOs, FF14, under follow the definition, yeah. And I think they should be, at least in the strict sense of a live service game. Because I think that those games are designed that way. The monetization model, I think, is a different category. Because you can be a game that is built to be expanded until forever, but how you monetize that game, that is, like, for me, a separate conversation to have. You know? That is a separate conversation and not necessarily a part of what makes a game a live service game. Just using expansions to push that end game as opposed to a battle pass or a subscription. Yeah, then that's the thing, right? That is part of, like, the monetization. That is like a separate conversation, in my opinion. So that's what I mean. That I would prefer both be under the same category for the awards. Oh. For the games, okay. For the awards, yes. For ongoing game, yes. I agree that it should be in the same category. What I think, though, is that there should be a separate category for content like Shadow of the Erdtree. That's what I'm thinking should be done. If for something, for games like that. For expansion packs, for big, for that kind of thing. But it's a big content drop that is, like, kind of sufficiently large enough that it should be, like, noteworthy. 100% DLC and expansion are two different things. Yeah. Minecraft is then live service as well? Yeah, I think so. Even if it's like kind of weird in that sense. Because it keeps getting, they keep adding stuff periodically to Minecraft. And it's kind of built to be expanded upon until eternity. I do see though the difficulty of having like an expansion category, because it's not like expansions are very common nowadays because of the favor towards smaller incremental content by a lot of studios. So I get why they removed the category. I think we can call something a full live service if it also needs to be online all the time. Then Minecraft would fall out of that category. Because Minecraft doesn't have to be online all the time. So where would you categorize something like Minecraft? Or the expansion ends up being an entirely new game like Silksong? That is... Huh. I don't know. Tell me more about Silksong. I'd only just heard about it. Yeah, I think Minecraft is something like Borderlands. What do you mean? In what sense? How is it similar to Borderlands? And tell me more about Silksong, because I don't know enough context. I am not into the Hollow Knight rabbit hole yet. It has updates, but you can choose to play solo or online with friends. I see. Huh, wait, Borderlands. Does that mean that Borderlands does not fall under live service? I can't say Diablo 4 is the same, since it now requires you to be online all the time. Silksong is, in essence, part of the early Kickstarter pledge, where Team Cherry promised her to be a playable character, though they realized quickly that her separate campaign escalated into becoming a game rather than a content add-on or expansion. Oh, I see. Does that then mean that Silksong is more of a spin-off game rather than added content? Is that what it seems to be? Silksong is a separate game from my understanding. I see. Yeah, I think I agree that live services generally requires online access, even if you are playing solo. The main game requires live access. I see. That's fair. I do think when you put that, or when you phrase it that way, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they really need to like rejig. Next episode, the Owl takes on live service games. Oh, you have no idea how many thoughts I have about live service games. I went on a bit of a mini rant yesterday about live service. If it releases separately and does not require the base game to play, it's not a DLC. The word live makes the hair on the back of my neck stand straight. PTSD of Microsoft Live for any and all games back then, including Fallout 3. Can I just say, real quick, I love the little joke that they made during the announcement of Outer Worlds 2, where they said, where they were going through, what was it? The makers of Knights of the Old Republic Part 2. What was the other one? Neverwinter Nights Part 2. Fallout 3 Part 2. that was such a funny thing for me. Like, okay, I get it. That was so funny. That was hilarious. Such what do you call that? Those guys know what the fuck they're talking about. This is why New Vegas will never fall out of relevancy, I think. This is why I think New Vegas will never fall out of relevancy, just because. Good times, good times. Probably one of the best moments, I think, in the Game Awards for me. Man. Okay, so let's go over one of my personal disagreement with the award, with one award. Because most of the awards, I feel like they were pretty, like, you know what? Okay, I can see this. I can kind of see this being the winner. The one that I feel like I disagree with the most was for Best Adaptation. Because I loved watching the Fallout TV series, but I cannot find it in my heart to consider it better than Arcane. Because of a lot of reasons, at least in my book. New Vegas is good, although it is held together by gaffer tape and split at this point when you try to run it on modern machines. I see. Arcane was a clear shot winner. I think I'm fine with Fallout winning. Here's the thing, right? I feel like Fallout was a good show, but I don't agree that it was better than Arcane. But it is what it is, you know? Like, I don't control these awards. I'm not going to throw a hissy fit. It's just my personal disagreement. Because I feel like there was just so much more emotional... what do you call that? So much more emotional... what's this? Depth in Arcane than there was in Fallout. I presume it was just Hollywood pulling Hollywood shenanigans. I mean, my comment right away when I saw that Fallout won Best Adaptation, I was like, you know what? Todd needs this win. Todd needed this win after Starfield. Like, with how disastrous Starfield went. You know what? Todd, take it. Come on, just take it. Alright? Just take it, Todd. Go ahead. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Man, Starfield was a hot mess. To be fair, they did a good adaptation of the game. Yeah, I think Fallout was a very good series. I have no disagreements with that. You know, like, I think it was good. And I think, you know, I haven't seen Knuckles, but I can imagine an entire series about Knuckles is probably going to be good. Just because, on paper, having Knuckles be a lead is just, it sounds, I have to watch it. I don't even know why I haven't watched it yet. And then, of course, there's the Like a Dragon series. I haven't seen that one yet, but I'm curious to kind of get into it, but I need to play the games first. I feel like I need to play the games before getting into the series. Funny thing is, I felt like it was announced it was bad when they dropped the line of Bethesda Magic. Nothing against Bethesda, but they haven't updated their engine and how they handle in-game things ever since Skyrim blew up. Or probably even Morrowind. I feel like that's a fair assessment. I need to watch Arcane Season 2 and Fallout, though some friends saying Arcane Season 2 has some story pacing issues. Welcome, Drunk Dwarf. We're talking about the Game Awards. and how, at least right now, my personal disagreement that that Fallout was better than Arcane. I think Arcane was the better of the shows, but you know, Todd needs this win after Starfield, so you know, let him have it, I suppose. But yeah, I don't feel like I had any issues with the pacing for Arcane, because I do understand that it had to jump between a lot of different characters, but I don't feel like it ever felt it out. I don't feel like it ever outstayed its welcome for me as I was watching it. I practically marathoned it in like 2 sessions, 2 or 3 sessions, I think. I'll be immediately pre-ordering a Bethesda game once I see them implementing ladders in a way that works. I see. I am honestly like I for a good while I have been excited for what's this? For The Elder Scrolls 6. But now, at this stage, I am just worried. You know, I like this disagreement discussion because we can all tackle on the shows critically, unlike some I saw on social media calling out the jury for being woke and are not gamers. I feel like that's like, I feel like they're all good shows, and any of them could have won, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's a good show. It's fine. You know, it's an award show. It doesn't... I think I tweeted it earlier today, where I was like, it's all right if your favorite game or show or whatever didn't win an award or didn't win the award. That's fine. Just because something else won doesn't mean that the thing you like sucks. Anything I see cuddly, I snatch. No, Bread Cat, no. I bought a friend for the cuddly best. It's a doll from the dark web. I see. I didn't realize you could get cuddly stuff from the dark web. But anyway, what was that? Can't wait for the Elder Scrolls 6 to look not just to look nice, but somehow play the same. And then the Skyrim mod just brings the 6 aesthetics to it. Being nominated is already making the devs the winners. Yeah, I feel like the fact that you have your game or whatever recognized as a nominee means that it is good. That it's now just a question of, you know, who is gonna be the one to have the crown. But all the other shows there are still acknowledged as being some of the best in that specific field. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people getting way too hung up about some of the awards, and it's okay to disagree. You know, it's all right if you have like games that you like that won and then didn't win. That shouldn't mean what do you call that? Shouldn't mean a bad thing. Like, we may be salty if VTuber didn't win the award, but whoever wins it still deserves it because they did something great. Yeah. Oh man, the discourse around the creator, like the best, what was the category? What was it called? Man, the creator, what was it? Content Creator of the Year? I mean, come on. It's Creator of the Year. Yeah, Creator of the Year. We have an ad coming up in a minute, then we'll take a quick break. I might use that chance to go to the bathroom and maybe get some, get a drink as well. Oh no, do I have a drink? I think I have some, I think I may have something to drink in the fridge that I can pull up real quick. 30-second rush. No, we have a 3-minute break, guys. It's going to be a full-on 3-minute break. I want to do something a bit different. Like, I recently, I was watching Snivy's stream, and she has, like, a really cute way to... It's a 3-minute ad because it only happens once an hour. We have a 3-minute break every 1 hour. It's either that or, like, a minute and a half every 30 minutes. And I'd rather have it just once an hour rather than every 30. So anyway, I'll talk about it in a bit. I'm going to go on a bathroom break and maybe get a drink. See you guys. And we're back from the ad break. And yes, Nito is right that by having the 3-minute ads once an hour, that basically disables pre-roll ads, which, according to the statistics, turns a lot of people off when they try to tune into a stream for the first time. They're like, nope. So that's pretty much the reason why we have the 3-minute break every hour. Also, welcome Kotek to the Twitch chat, and thank you for the gift sub to Blue Lightning 714 and to Bunny Boy Raziel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. Fuck! I forgot my glass. I went to the kitchen, poured myself a glass, and I forgot to take it back with me. Give me a minute. Oh, Lord. Okay, we're here. We're back. Thank you, Nito, for the subscription to I Am Cutie Patootie. Because you are. You are evidently so. A cutie patootie, I mean. Alright. Where were we? Where were we? Right. You're having the talk about the best adaptation. Finished my PE practical exam. Good job, Red Cat. Good job. Keep acing that. Also, now let's do I have any other thoughts on any of the awards? I do think that Astrobot winning Game of the Year was a solid pick. I've heard nothing but good things about Astrobot from all the people who have played it. Have those hype train annotations always been warning color yellow? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. I actually don't think I've seen a hype train happen in a while, at least on the streams that I've been watching. Yeah, I don't think there are any other, like, it's Game of the Year Astrobot, Game Direction Astrobot, Narrative, Metaphor, Art Direction, Metaphor, Best Score, Rebirth, and then we have Audio Design, Senua, Games for Impact, Neva. I actually don't know this one. Puzzle Platforming. Ooh, should give it a try then. Let's see. Best Performance. Yeah, the Senua Saga games are real intense. Like the real emotional, what do you call that? Real emotional games. Best Indie, Balatro. I've been enjoying that quite a bit. I love how the best part about Balatro was that is that I can just pick it up real easy for a couple minutes if I have the time. I did see some discourse on how much Sony was winning, but I was thinking, yeah, Sony was cooking this year, yeah. I do feel like that Sony has had a good amount of stuff, but I feel like there's also a bunch of it that's like they've been hot and cold in a lot of places. I feel like there were also times where Sony lost as much as they won in some areas. Like, I get that Helldivers 2 is very much beloved, but we can't forget what Sony was that Sony is the reason why a lot of people are no longer able to play Helldivers 2. So I feel like Sony giveth and Sony taketh away. Balatro is the best on-the-go game for sure. Yeah, definitely. Enjoyed Return of the Maker. Okay. Yeah, region lock thing was BS full stop. Yup. Absolutely the worst. Sony. Man, this is... It's why I don't feel bad that I don't have, like, a console anymore. I even had a friend, what do you call that? Like, offer to sell me his PS5 for cheaps so he could get himself an excuse to get a PS5 Pro, but we'll ignore that part. But, you know, he was willing to sell his PS5 for cheap, and I'm like, I don't think I can justify buying a PS5. You know? Like, I feel like I would, even if I got it for cheap, the games are still expensive. I still have to get PS Plus to get some good games in the library on a regular basis. Like, whatever money I save from getting it secondhand, even if it's dirt cheap, I'm still gonna be paying, you know, out of the nose in terms of all of the other added, what do you call that? Added costs associated with having a console. But the Sony dev teams are doing what Microsoft was supposed to and promised to do when they started buying up all the dev teams. Yeah. The only thing that interested me besides Demon's Souls came to PC. Yeah. Like, I feel like most games will be out on PC eventually. Like, I held out. Like, I wanted to play Final Fantasy 16. I wanted to play Final Fantasy Remake so bad. You know, like, I played it. Okay. In the case of FF7 Remake, right? I played it when it first came out on PS4. Loved it. And then Square Enix did the biggest bullshit move I've ever seen from them in a while, which was to have the added content, the intergrade, that little, you know, like little add-on chapter, and have it be exclusive to PS5 and Steam. Not on the PS4 that I was still playing at the time. No. It's straight to PS5, straight to Steam. So the fuck did I do? I bought it on Steam. The full intergrade. Fucking bullshit. Yeah. I forget what the point I was trying to make with that was. But yeah, you know, but like, you know, eventually, so I got it, and then I eventually also wanted to play FF16 because it was by, you know, it's by Yoshi P and team. But I held out, and then FF16 came out on PC. Sure, it was a bit of a performance mess, but I got to play it. And now, FF7 Rebirth coming out January. Bet your ass I'm gonna buy it. Oh man, my 2025 is gonna be so fucking stacked. I don't know what to do. Guys, I don't have enough time to play everything. Bloodborne 2 will come out after Half-Life 3. I will believe that Bloodborne 2 will come out when Half-Life 3 comes out. $70 ain't worth it for some games. Agree. To be fair, the other BS move was earlier when they released the entire Cage collection on PC, but making it a long-time Epic exclusive. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of agree on the Epic thing, but only because while Steam Valve is one of the better companies, I do agree a virtual monopoly on PC gaming is not a good thing. That is true. The thing I hate most is when you get a PC version, some are locked into just a specific platform. But here's the thing. I I feel like Epic is going about this the wrong way. You know? Like, I get it. Nobody wants Steam to be a monopoly. But maybe instead of just trying to bleed money out and get devs to exclusively release on your platform, maybe ask the question, why the fuck is Steam popular in the first place? Outside of just, you know, people getting used to it. What are the things that you can do that Steam does not do that will give you that edge? People need to love GOG more for their stance on game preservation. They do. But here's the thing. I would do GOG much more often. I would readily give my money to GOG if they did regional pricing. If GOG started to do regional pricing, I would be there in a heartbeat. Because for me, that's one of the biggest reasons why I cannot buy games anywhere else outside of Steam, because of their regional pricing. Yes, it's not the biggest difference for some games, but for a lot of games, it's such a game changer. Welcome, Cheese Cult Leader. Welcome aboard. Bring your cheesy cultists over as well, if it pleases you. That's why I don't use Epic Game Store, even if they give away free games. Huh. I mean, the only reason Xbox grew is exclusives. The only reason Nintendo is as big is that our exclusives. Sony, PS exists because of exclusives. True, but I don't know if that's true anymore. I've had this discussion before that exclusivity is no longer the way. Exclusivity no longer works because games are hella well, at least the AAA games are hella expensive to make. And developers are not going to release, publishers are not going to cut off one leg just so one platform can gain exclusivity over the others. So I don't think that exclusivity is going to be the way moving forward. Quicksil Megascans? What are those? What are those, Nito? Nowadays, you choose the platform based on your gaming style. Agreed. But even if Epic and Steam was on parity, okay, we all have our specific reasons for why we like or dislike specific platforms. Epic, in general, is just, I would say first and foremost, Epic is just a bad store. You know? With Steam's already owned market share, without exclusive, no one would bother switching. That is... I agree that that is a difficult thing to do. Especially with the current actual, hold of... with the actual, current market share of Steam. But I don't think it is out of reach if other platforms know how to how to build a product that can stand alongside Steam that has its own perks and advantages. Because I don't know, because I think people don't understand how to compete with Steam, or if they know how, they're not willing to. Because I would say right now, one of the biggest weaknesses of Steam is its UI. The user interface of Steam isn't the best. I understand the dislike for it, but no one complains about buying a Switch to play Zelda. Huh. I think it's because I think one of the main reasons is that Zelda and the others, like like Nintendo's intellectual IP is owned by them. Like exclusive, like they have decades. They have had decades building their brand. You know? I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's fair to compare the what do you call that? To compare the exclusivity of Nintendo's first-party IPs that they've built over decades versus even like the first-party IPs of some of the more recent of the other platforms. Hello DB, welcome. We're talking about stuff now. We're talking about what do you call that? Platforms, Steam's hold on the market, exclusivity in games, in terms of like their platform and how to kind of address the situation. Like what are the thoughts? Because I get it that Nintendo exclusives, they have had years to build that. And I think that in the case of like Sony and let's say Sony and Microsoft, right, for the Xbox and PlayStation, what are the exclusives to those now that are still worth playing, that has not already been ported to other platforms? Bloodborne. Outside of Bloodborne, a crap ton of PSP games. That's fair, but like the modern consoles, rather than those of the past. I mean that was what Sony was trying to make. I agree that I don't think exclusivity is necessarily the problem of Epic. Like I get why they do exclusivity. Like I understand the goal. I understand like the objective of why they would make something exclusive, especially modern, right? But I don't think that it is the most profitable move for third-party developers to become exclusive to a console. Astrobot is a first-party developer. Is it under a first-party developer? Isn't it? Yeah. Team Asobi is a first-party developer. Astrobot is essentially the same as Zelda in that sense. They are both first-party. They were developed by Sony, or developed by Sony for Sony, right? The same thing. Zelda is developed by Nintendo for Nintendo. I would argue more that the conversation of exclusives is less so with the first-party exclusives, but the third-party exclusives, the ones that are not developed by what do you call that? Not developed by the actual console, by the console's first-party studios. With something like, what do you call that? What was it? Well, yeah, technically Final Fantasy. Square Enix. Stellar Blade is another. Wait, was Stellar Blade a, what do you call that? Third party? I don't think they are they? I think they're third party. Yeah. So Stellar Blade is a third-party developer published by Sony. Shift up. Let's see. Yeah, Breath of the Wild at home. Let's see. To be fair, Breath of BOF? Bob. Wait, which BOF? For some reason, I was thinking Breath of Fire. What is that? Oh, Breath of the Wild. God of War and God of Ragnarok are current ports over to PC. Okay. That's, Helldivers 2 is also a Sony published game. Yeah. Okay. I think, wait, we're getting a little bit, like, I feel like we're kind of, at least my brain is kind of getting lost in the weeds in terms of, like, timed exclusivity. Or even exclusivity in general. Because, okay, let's go back, like, a couple generations, right? Let's go back to the age of, like, the PS2. Like Kotek mentioned, right? There were exclusives mostly because, right? The original reason we had exclusives is because the coding required for each of the consoles was different, right? You had a different, like, developer toolkit, right? You had a different developer kit, a dev kit for each console. You had to kind of code things a little differently for each platform, right? Do a couple differences here and there in terms of the hardware. Darksiders very influenced by Zelda games. It depends. Like, Zelda is an old-ass franchise. You're going to have to ask which aspects of Zelda are going to inspire and influence other games. Because there's a lot. But yeah, so originally you had exclusives because you had different, like, each platform, each console was going to be developed for very, very differently. You don't develop for, say, like the PlayStation. Developing for the PlayStation was different than developing, say, for the Sega Saturn or whatever its contemporaries, you know, or the GameCube or whatever. So that was the original reason why we had these exclusives, right? You could, like, developers could not afford to develop. Well, a lot of developers could not afford to build their games for every console in the market. Not to mention, I don't know, is it still the case that well, I think it still is the case that you needed to have a license to release, you know, for that specific platform, right? You needed to also produce those games, you know, manufacture the actual, like, fucking carts or CDs and put them out into the market, put them into shelves. That was a very expensive endeavor. Not every studio could afford to do that, even with a publisher backing. So you could only choose, you had to, like, choose, okay, we can afford to publish your game, but you gotta pick what platform you're building on, man. We can't afford to triple our costs just because you want to be on every single one. And they would do that unless it was, like, the really, you know, unless it was the really, really popular ones that they know was gonna sell. So that was kind of, what do you call it? That's kind of where we were at the time. But eventually, as time progressed and developing games became a lot cheaper, right? Comparatively cheaper when you started having, you know, when you start having more readily available game engines, right? You know, things like Unity, Unreal Engine, and, you know, all the like, that kind of became more accessible to your normal people. The barrier for entry became a lot lower. And especially with a lot of those engines that aren't, like, in-house, they usually had, like, functionalities that let you port to specific platforms. You know, you can pop up a Unity, build a game, and be like, okay, how do I want to compile this for? Then you just hit, like, a drop-down menu, pick, okay, I wanna make, like, I wanna compile this for PlayStation 4, drop down menu, PlayStation 4, build. Xbox, build. Steam or whatever, PC, build. Mobile, or like Android, build. iOS, build. You know? That suddenly got a lot cheaper. And so you started getting a lot of these, what do you call that? Yeah, we're trying, it's a lot different than exclusivity today. Yeah, we're kind of building towards that now, right? So you started getting now, so now you have a lot of these games that can be published on any platform, right? And then that's why you started getting a lot of multi-plat games. You started getting more, what do you call that? Games that are starting to release on PlayStation and Xbox, right? And the reason why and the thing that I'm kind of seeing now is that because the technology behind games, right? We can now make games that look so fucking amazing, but are so fucking taxing, right? Games that look fucking near photorealistic at times. It's for me just as much an issue as stated on monopolization of distribution as it is hardware. And going back, Steam basically has a monopoly on PC gaming distribution. Yeah, because nobody else could really compete. Nobody wanted to compete with Steam, or nobody could offer the same kind of convenience that they did. At least that's the way that I saw it. Nobody offered as much value as Steam could. Like Steam has like I mentioned earlier, for me the biggest reason why I still use Steam as often as I do is because they have regional pricing. And I feel like that is a much bigger deal for other people. And exclusivity and distribution is not inherently bad if the distribution platform doesn't suck. Yeah, the only reason that, Steam definitely has its hands around our necks right now, and we're only agreeing to it because the alternative sucks so much worse. You know? Even if, I think, what do you call that? I think you pointed it out earlier, Kotek, that even if we had Steam and Epic on par with each other in terms of features, and if I had my library on both Epic and Steam, I think I'd still be using Steam. If I had my library on both Steam and Epic, I'm still using Steam. And regional pricing is one of the best features. Yeah. The Play Together feature, I feel like that's a hit or miss sometimes. It works better for some games than others. So yeah, in terms of those exclusivity stuff, I do feel like that the main reason Steam is still being used is because all the other platforms just don't compare. Brand loyalty, it's still a thing. I feel like brand loyalty it applies mostly to console. Each console plus PC. Because I consider PC its own platform, regardless of what do you call it? Regardless of whatever platform it is. Whether you use Epic or Steam or GOG or whatever, when somebody says PC gaming, all those guys suddenly band together. As long as they can band together to dunk on consoles in general. But when it comes to PC gaming conversations, everybody's in their own camp. Unless it's time to dunk on consoles. That's the way that I've been seeing it. Yeah, brand loyalty and tribalism, that's gonna be a thing. That's still a thing, or rather, that is still a thing. And that's not gonna go away. That is not gonna go away. because that's how humans are. We like to group up and dunk on someone else that we think we can. It is an unfortunate pattern in our species, and I hope that one day we can weed that out. But I am not very hopeful. Like people picking their K-pop group favorites. Yeah, whether it be K-pop group favorites, their favorite streamer of choice, you know, or even back to the ancient times, whichever athletes or sports teams you choose. You know, we've been doing it since time immemorial. We've been doing it since time immemorial, and I think we'll keep doing it until the end of our species. Like, can you imagine what it must have been like during like the original Greek Olympics for the common people to have their own specific athletes, you know, of choice? And how rowdy they would probably get and maybe stab the next fucker at the fucking Coliseum next time they see them or something. Wild, wild times. And here's the funny thing. Apparently they even observed this behavior in, was it chimps? Was it chimpanzees? Where they also observed, like, tribalism behavior? They have meet and greets for gladiators. Alright, it is now Butticus's turn with the Grand Discus. And you get to meet Butticus at the end of a show. I wonder though, like, how long, like, what we're, I want to imagine, like, I kind of want to see. One of the things, if I could travel back in time, I would try to keep going further back to see just how far I can go to personally witness tribalism at work for humans. Man. Easy, just go back all the way. Man, these things are... Look for any free-to-play communities. Oh, hell. But really, though, the gaming scene is... I feel like it's in a bit of a flux. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of changing, and not everybody is happy with the changes overall. You know? We are in the middle of a change. Yeah, I don't think any of the other awards, though, I think I have any issues with. You guys want to talk about all the announcements that they put out for the Game Awards? The advertisements, basically. Best RPG. Wait, is that the category? Oh, Metaphor? I haven't played it yet. I have so many things that I still need. I have like a lot on my plate. Like, just looking at the games that I still want to play. Thank you, Kotek, for the gift sub to DB. Looking forward to Dispatch, funnily enough. Yeah, it looked very interesting. I tend to like a lot of like little deconstructions of like certain like themes. So the way that they're kind of deconstructing the superhero genre by turning it into like a dispatch, like an actual like dispatching kind of game. Well, it's not actually a dispatching, it's still like a narrative story thing a la Telltale, but with like the like dispatching elements, I think, to it. That looks interesting to me. That is like a story that I don't think we've seen yet, or like that is an avenue that still needs to be explored a bit more thoroughly. Who's not excited about GTA 6? I think it's fine. I'm not particularly like frothing at the mouth to play GTA 6 because I know how I am gonna be when I get to play a GTA. You know? My relationship with GTA is always as follows. I will pick it up, I will start the game, and I will wander around and do all sorts of shenanigans for a couple of hours, and then I'm done. You know? I don't play the story of GTA. I am honestly, you know, not the most invested. I don't play GTA for the story, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I love Telltale games, and that some of the devs came together for this one. Yeah! It seems like a very interesting story to tell. And so I'm really curious about Dispatch. All the games I still need to play. Okay. I am kind of excited. Oh, wait. Okay. So, I am actually very happy to see more couch co-op games. With the announcement of Split Fiction and Stage Fright, I am actually super excited for those two. Because I think we need more couch co-op games. We need more. We don't have enough. I'm curious about Elden Ring Night Rain, but then again, I haven't exactly played Shadow of the Erdtree. Nor have I even really finished Elden Ring, so we'll get to that in a second. What was that one game you were referring to, Nito? Like the Shadow of the Colossus? That's actually one of the games that I have heard so much about, but I have never actually played personally. And I feel like I'm missing out. But I'm also very, very afraid to start playing Shadow of the Colossus and find that I may not enjoy it as much as the rest of the world seems to. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. You guys? Oh yeah, the maker of the Shadow of the Colossus revealed a new thing. I see. I'm also fairly excited to check out Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, just because I love the 80s aesthetic. It just seems, I just love, I don't know, I really like the 80s aesthetic. There's something about it that tickles my brain, you know? One of the things I also like about cyberpunk sometimes, where if they go very, cyberpunk the genre, not the game, you know? I love it when a cyberpunk game or a cyberpunk thing leans much, much heavier into the 80s aesthetics. Kind of iffy on the product placement, I agree. The only time that I have less of an issue with product placement is when is when it is like the parent company. Like if it's, for example, like, right, so Intergalactic is being worked on by Naughty Dog, which has very, very strong ties to Sony, right? So I don't mind if, for example, a Naughty Dog game has a bunch of like Sony, you know, product placement stuff. I did find it a little bit iffy seeing like the, you know, like the Adidas logo, Porsche. So I'm like, I guess that's a thing. But it does seem interesting. I am kind of curious because I love the 80s aesthetic about it. I will wait until I see more. Uh, let's see. What were some of the other things? Oh, Crimson Desert looked fun. It looked very interesting. I also had to close the stream the moment I saw Randy Pitchford come on. It's like, ah, yes, okay. Oh, it's Randy Pitchford. Close tab. I'll come back a little later. I just don't. I can't. I cannot. Not Randy. I refuse. I just wish they made more like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I saw that, and on the one hand, ew. On the other hand, if I got them the funding to actually complete the game, if it, I like it better than Borderlands 3. I see. I don't know. I just feel like Randy is a very scummy. He just comes off to me as a very scummy person. You know? I wish they didn't slaughter the story. I never got into Borderlands 3. That chummy chumbo. Ah. Because, like, the whole... But let's not get into him being trash. I feel like there is no question. And I just feel bad for a lot of the people that kind of got involved. Especially when the whole aliens thing issue was also the biggest, like, problem at the time. So, I don't know, man. I just had to tune out Randy. It's fine. Also, I am... Remember, he made the mistake of calling the mistake called the Borderlands movie. Oof. Man, I was on a delay. That was for the product placement. Oh. I see. Got it. If it got them to actually complete the funding for the game. Ah, yeah, it's basically the sponsorship and the product placement for Intergalactic. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I understand. Also, let's see what else was on there. What's this? I am what do you call that? I'm curious to see what's his name. Clive in Tekken 8. That was a pretty fun announcement. Not completely out of left field, since Noctis showed up in Tekken 7. So it makes sense that we'd have Clive in Tekken 8. The arena looks cool as well. Yeah, the Phoenix Gate. Yeah, the place that he messed up when he first transformed into Ifrit. The Witcher 4 seems interesting. I have yet to actually finish Witcher 3, so I'm just like, happy to see that they are that they're working on the new Witcher. Happy for them. Especially since I feel like they had to really spend a lot of time making Cyberpunk work, So I feel like they've done enough to repenting for the original release of Cyberpunk 2077. Because I don't think that they were. I feel like that a lot of Cyberpunk 2077 was just very much unfortunate and nothing really overly malicious or like it was just they just aimed too high. Is the way that I kind of view their their entire run with Cyberpunk 2077. They aimed too high and couldn't deliver what they were hoping they could. But eventually they did. It's kind of like it's similar with No Man's Sky. I feel like the No Man's Sky situation is also the same, where they really wanted to do something super big, but at the end of the day, they realized they couldn't, at least not right away, and just figured, you know what? Okay, let's get this out now before it gets canceled, and let's just try to fix it after the fact. Unfortunate that it has to happen, but you know, it looks like they at least spent a lot of time really trying to make it the best they could. Which is honestly a little better, at least better than some that don't bother. Last of Us 2 Remastered coming to PC. I don't care. I don't care. I've lost, like, I've made my opinions very clear yesterday about remasters and remakes already, and I'm not gonna put you guys through the same the same thing about it, the same whole conversation. I am though I am a little curious though about Den of Wolves, because I wanted to play you know what's annoying with more annoying with remastered? Bamco not remastering their old 2D Tales games. Haven't they doing like, haven't they like tried to remaster a recent Tales game? Like, didn't they remaster it? What do you call that? Tales of Remastered. Ah. Oh, I see. The missed out on the old 2D ones. Oh, you're right. I see. Tales of Destiny PS2 remaster in English. I wonder why though. I wonder why the Tales series. What do you call that? Yeah, the only remaster I think, yeah, was what was it? Graces was the recent one. Tales of Graces. Let's see. Square Enix and Konami started doing remasters and remakes for the 2D RPGs. They did, but I feel like they need to slow the fuck down. You know? Give us like maybe one remaster or remake for every like 3 or 4 original games they put out. You know? They're getting way too comfortable just putting out remasters and remakes. So they need to fucking slow the fuck down on that. We can't play 2 RPGs at the same time? Yeah. Fucking... I was kidding when I said Last of Us Remastered last stream. I didn't wish to be right. No, you asked for it, Nito. You asked for it. And look what we got. Look what we got. Gotta get back to actual work, but keep working. Thanks for the fun convo, and cheers. Cheers, Kotek. Hang on, Kotek. Give me a second. Before you go, give me another minute or two. Give me an opportunity to show my appreciation for you. there we go. Try putting something in chat. Should show up now. Hello, there we go. Welcome to the VIP Club Kotek. Thank you for your continuous support. And I hope you have a good time at work. All right. And thank you for hanging out. It's super fun, you know, conversing with you, knowing that it's a very, you know, that I can trust you guys to have a very, you know, civil conversation where we can talk about things even if we don't always agree. So thank you for being a part of that, Kotek. So yeah, I do think that they could slow down a little bit with some of the remasters and stuff. Sequels are a little bit of a different thing. Yes, enjoy the shadows and lurking from the impenetrable darkness of the void. I'm not excited for the Squid Game Unleashed though. That is such a cash grab tie-in game. Like Squid Game Unleashed just oozes with tie-in cash grab. It's so blatantly what do you call that? It's such a it's funny. It's practically funny. That's a series that doesn't need a follow-up. It doesn't, but I am intrigued nonetheless with how they could continue Squid Game as a series. I am curious. Which in my opinion, Squid Game 2 will either be really good or really bad. And I don't think there's going to be any middle ground. That's the way that I'm kind of looking at Squid Game 2 at the moment. Also, making a Squid Game as a game will never work, especially with that kind of direction. You want to know what I think would actually work? Like, what format of a game would work for Squid Game? Get Squid Game, right? The Squid Game story and stuff or whatever, right? Get that base, turn it into a Telltale game. Can you imagine a Telltale style game about Squid Game? For me, that makes sense. That narrative, you don't have to have like, you know, like the do the mechanics and stuff or whatever. Make it about the human drama. Who do you team up with? Who do you betray? You know? That is what you should focus the game about. This is why I think that a Telltale game about Squid Game would work. Think about that. Let that sink in. Imagine being like, you know, voted the leader of this team or whatever, and you gotta pick one person to recruit, but the other person you won't, you know, the other person will end up in another team. Right? The drama was the biggest highlight of the show. Exactly! That's the kind of game we should get out of Squid Game. Not a fucking crab game ripoff. Come on, man. This is all Mr. Beast's fault. Fuck yeah. Also, another ad coming up in a minute. It's been an hour already. Holy shit. I feel like the last hour happened really fast. It's already an hour, and we have another 3-minute ad coming up, guys. Okay, so we'll do the same thing again. We'll have a quick break. We're gonna step aside for like 3 minutes, And hope to see you guys again. We'll continue the conversation about my awesome brainstormed idea of a Telltale game, a Telltale styled Squid Game. That'd be pretty fun. So you guys can take the time to walk around, stretch your legs, refill your drinks, go to the bathroom, touch grass. Make it fun. Shoot. All right, here we go. Okay. We're back in 3, 2, 1. All right. We've yapped for quite a bit. And I think that, wait, is there anything else that we can have a little bit more to talk about? Squid Game Unleashed, yeah. Oh yeah. So, Squid Game. They should make it a Telltale game. And I think that would actually do pretty well if you write it good. Get a nice, good, well-written story and set it in like a parallel, you know, set it like a whole new Squid Game. Give us new characters, you know, and then your protagonist is somebody who ends up in the game. You can have familiar, you know, some of the familiar games from the show show up again. And hell, maybe you can even have like a little part of the story where you get involved in trying to, like, you know, you can die early and still see an ending. Yeah. That would be fun. And then you maybe even get roped into, what do you call that? Like, into the whole back, like behind closed doors scenario, like what happened in the show. And then you can even, what do you call that? You can even, you'll start off with, and you have like flashbacks. You can have flashbacks of like your life before the Squid Games, right? That could be fun. I feel like having a Squid Game focused on that is probably one of the few good ways you can probably turn out something. Or actually taking over until continue with more Squid Games. Yeah. Like, that could be like the ending, where you can either choose to continue the Squid Games, or you can like dismantle it, or imply that you're gonna dismantle it. And those can be like two of the major endings. Or maybe something else. I feel like whether continuing the games or ending it might be like maybe one of the like maybe normal endings. And then depending on other choices you make, you can access like a true ending that's kind of out, like where you have a separate plot outside of the just winning the game or losing the game or whatever. Because I feel like they should do something else beyond just making the game about, oh, do you take it over or what? Or winning the game or something. Like, they should be endings, right? Like where you just win the game, you walk away with the money, right? But instead they end up pushing for some live service game. Is it a live service game? I didn't even know. Like, I just saw that it was like a really, it looked like a bad crab game, like, you know, spin-off game or something. So I don't know what the hell that was about. Untitled Virtual Fighter game? Not that interested. Onimusha I'm a little curious about, but then again, like, we haven't had Onimusha in a very, very long time. Like, it's been too long since Onimusha, so I don't know about its relevance and how they're gonna bring it back. Den of Wolves, I think I was excited about because I wanted to play Payday 3. But apparently Payday 3 is kind of sucks. So there goes that hope of like having a crew get together and play a heist game. So hopefully Den of Wolves will succeed where Payday 3 failed. So fingers crossed. Den of Wolves should have a Terry Bogard DLC. Hobo Terry. Bring us Hobo Terry. So yeah, I'm hoping that Den of Wolves is gonna be good. Also, can I say that it is surprising that we have not had more Game of Thrones games than we have. You know, like, I'm a little surprised that we don't have more Game of Thrones, like, you know, video games. I'm not saying that I wish we had. I'm not saying that I wish we had, but I'm just surprised that there was that we haven't had like a proper Game of Thrones video game. outside of like the Telltale ones, you know? So for us to suddenly get like Game of Thrones King's Road is like, huh. There were attempts for a couple of Lord of the Rings games. I mean, we've had a couple, you know? Hello, Kat. Good morning, morning. Good. Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning to you. I'm just surprised that it's been a while since Game of Thrones ended, and we never had, you know, a bunch of Game of Thrones stuff until now. You'd think that when Game of Thrones was airing, they would have had like spin-off game, tie-in game after tie-in game after tie-in game. But we didn't. I'm just a little surprised. LOTR games. I feel like we've had a couple of LOTR games come up, you know? What was the one from Ubi? Shadow of Mordor or something? I wanted Balatro to win an award, but I'm annoyed it got the mobile award too. I didn't even know it had a mobile version. It's from Warner? Ah, it's from Warner. The Shadow... yeah, that one, right? But did Balatro not win an award at all? It won. It was nominated 5 times. It won 3 awards. It got yeah, it got Best Mobile Game. It got Best Indie Game and Best Debut Indie Game. Basically, what do you call that? I think the difference is that if it is your first game as a studio, then you count for debut indie game. I don't think winning more awards is a bad thing, Kat. I feel like if it is, you know, like if it is a good game and it's on mobile, then it counts. Much the same way, because it also works the other way around. I wanted Wuthering Waves to win mobile. I see. Well, that's the problem when you share the same space, you know? I mean, it works both ways. If you have like a gacha game that's on mobile that had really, really good music, then I don't see why it couldn't have also won, you know, best score in music or something, right? Because we have that for what do you call it? What was it? I heard that AFK Journey was very generous for being a gacha game. I have actually, I've seen a lot of ads for AFK Journey, and I've seen some people talk about it. I personally have not checked it out because, again, I don't do much gacha, and honestly, I still need to get around to trying Grand Summoner. And I'm hoping to give that a fair shake. I just need to iron out the kinks with, what do you call that? With BlueStacks. Maybe this Sunday. I didn't have enough time last Sunday because I was still sick and recovering. But now that I'm feeling better, hopefully this Sunday, I can actually get around to properly debugging it. Ugh. Let's see. I just stick to Nikke. I like mobile games that make it easy to play on the go. That is one thing that I kind of liked about Nikke, is that if you play it vertically, rather than sideways. I find that sometimes it's like turning my phone sideways is a little bit much now. But even then, like I don't play a lot of games on my phone anymore. Maybe the most recent thing was the Pokemon TCG Pocket. But only because, like, yeah, I like cards. You know? Vampire Survivor plays well on mobile too? I see. I haven't gotten around to playing it on mobile. I've only ever played it on PC. I'm happy Balatro got awards. It's a genuinely great game. But I separate mobile games and console and PC game. I'm sure Balatro was fine to play on mobile, but it's not a mobile game originally. Did it start off as only on PC? Ah. Here's my thought about that. I think it's fine in the sense that as long as a game is playable on mobile, as long as it is a game that is on mobile and it plays, then it should count. Because what is the difference between whether a game, like, why separate, like, why create a division between a game that is on mobile, right? Because if that's gonna be like, because if that's gonna be the logic, right? If we're gonna separate, oh, did it start on mobile? Did it start on PC? Does that mean then that we should exclude like mobile games from the other categories? Because that would feel a little, what do you call that? I feel like games should qualify where they qualify. You know, like if Wuthering, like for example, if Wuthering Waves or Zenless or whatever, right, had like really, really good music, it should qualify for best score in music, regardless of whatever platform it was on, right? Otherwise, then maybe there should be like, you know, because this isn't like a game, this isn't exactly like where it's focused on, like, it released on mobile. I don't know. I feel like it released on mobile, it plays well on mobile, it should qualify. At least that's kind of my thought process around it. I think by design, Balatro feels like a mobile game. Could. I haven't played it on mobile. Correct, because if that's a valid argument, then mobile games have no right to pretend they're like a PC or console game. Yeah, even if they have like a, you know, their own little launcher and stuff, like, then that counts as a mobile game, right? So I feel like regardless of platform, if it qualifies, if it meets the category of the game, or if it meets the conditions of the category, then it should qualify. You know? It's not like it says best mobile, like best mobile first game. You know, that's not the category. It's best mobile game. If it is a game that natively plays on mobile, it should count. Much the same way with like the best VR AR game, right? Like Hellsinger is what do you call that? Like Metal Hellsinger is a PC game, like it's a normal PC game, but it has a VR, so it should count. Same thing with Metro Awakening, and I think what was it like previously? The one where you slow down time with the bullet hell game. What was it? uh, shoot, what was that game where you're just like a red polygon character or something? Super Hot. There we go. Super Hot became an AR game, so it counts. I just wanted WoWo to win that award. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Sometimes, we'll have games that we want to win, and sometimes they don't get it. Competition is like that. But that doesn't take away from how good a game is or how much we enjoy it. Being nominated is already a win. Yeah. Because the fact that, that it is among the running of games means that it was recognized as being a game that is one of the best in its class. It'd mean more rewards. Yeah, that would have been nice. A lot of gachas tend to be like that. But it is what it is, It is what it is. Not every game can be, not every award can be won. Wuthering Waves was also nominated for Player's Voice. It was nominated. The other games that were nominated were Zenless, Wuthering Waves, Shadow of the Erdtree, Genshin Impact, and Black Myth Wukong. Those were the 5 that were nominated for Player's Voice. Unfortunately, the winner of Player's Voice was what do you call that? Black Myth Wukong. Unfortunately, your bet for Wuthering Waves did not win. And I think that was the only other category it was nominated for. Player's Choice and Mobile Game. Yep. Huh. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, let's. I want to talk about some of the statistics about like the nominations. Oh yeah, I trust you, Kat, not to be toxic, but the thing is, a lot of people have a tendency to be. So it's not meant to be directed at you. Or at least I don't think so. But, let's admit that there's gonna be a lot of there's already a lot of toxicity from fans of like anything. There's already a lot of people kind of being toxic about whatever game that they were hoping would win didn't win, and they start saying it's rigged and stuff. It's like, that's not helpful. That's not healthy at all. People need to like kind of just be chill and be like, you know what, too bad it didn't win, and that's okay. It's a little sad, but that's okay. Let's see. Okay, so nominations. I'm actually surprised that the games with the most number of nominations were Astrobot and FF7 Rebirth. Astrobot I expected, but I'm a little surprised that FF7 Rebirth got more nominations than Metaphor ReFantazio. What was it that FF7 Rebirth was nominated for that Metaphor was not? What was it? Rebirth, ReFantazio, Rebirth. Okay, Rebirth didn't get nominated for Best Art Direction. Score and Music, they both got nominated. Audio Design, Rebirth. Oh, Rebirth, okay. Rebirth got a nomination, but not Metaphor. So that cancels it out, because Art Direction, Metaphor was there, but not FF. Audio Design, FF was there, but not Metaphor. Best Performance, we have Rebirth. Oh, Best Performance. Nearly forgot about Metaphor. Yeah, Metaphor was one of the running one of the popular picks for what do you call that, for the awards. Metaphor got let's see. Metaphor got 2 awards. Sorry, 3. Metaphor got 3 awards. Astrobot got 1, 2, 3, 4. Astrobot got 4 awards. Metaphor got 3. Hello, Fluxmeister. Welcome to the stream. Rebirth got 1. Got 1 award. Rebirth got nominated a lot, but only walked away with 1, which was Best Music and Score. Atlas getting more love that they deserve? Yeah. Space Marine get any awards? It did not. It did get nominated, though, for Best Action Game. It also got nominated for Best Multiplayer Game. 2 nominations. Can't even play these games. I just have my Switch and phone, but from what I've seen of the games, I understand how good they are and why they deserve the awards. Yeah, in terms of Best Multiplayer, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 lost to Helldivers 2. In Best Action Game, Space Marine 2 lost to Black Myth Wukong. Let's see. Wukong got 2 awards. Helldivers got 2 awards. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 also got 2 awards. Balatro and Metaphor both got 3. Astrobot got 4. FF got 1. Fallout, the TV series, got 1. Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. Sports and Racing, EA Sports FC 25. Frostpunk 2 won Best Sim and Strategy. Tekken 8 won Best Fighting. Just wanted to pop in and say hi, do some drawing before hopping on Smash Bros. Let's go. Thank you for dropping by, Flex. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Always nice to see you on chat. And enjoy smashing the bros. Feels bad Unicorn didn't win, but Frostpunk 2 was good. I need to get around to playing Frostpunk 2. Canada suck being a fan of many different franchises, but zero access to their games. Unfortunately, that is an unfortunate reality sometimes. You know? Gaming has become expensive, much more expensive than it used to be, and that makes it difficult. Sorry, enjoying Smash Bros. Yeah, enjoy Smash Bros. What did I say? So, let's see. I heard Arkham Shadow was good. I've heard that Arkham Shadow's pretty good. I'm kind of curious. You said Smashing the Bros? No, I didn't. I said Smash Bros. Enjoy your Smash Bros. Let's see. Playing FF14 feels like an investment. I can see that. I mean, it has like a lot. Like, I feel like FF14, along with other games that also are like a continuous, like we've defined them as live service games. Oh, I must have misheard. My bad. It's all right, Flux. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Enjoy Smash Bros. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, because what do you call that? It's also the same thing with like I have like similar feelings with like gacha stuff or anything generally live service, which is why I feel like I've been playing less and less of them and trying to focus more on games that I can finish. You know? Like, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop playing like FF14 or any other thing like that. It's just that I want to make sure that I allocate time to play games with an ending. An investment with high returns of happiness and pain, and more pain and happiness and pain. Yoshi P doesn't want to let go of me. Why should he? Why should Yoshi P let go? He will have his clutches deep into your butt for ages. If he let go of me, he'll throw FF16 to my face. Yeah, he will. Honestly, I want another Ivalice game, please. Square Enix, give us a fucking proper Ivalice game. Please. Give us like a AAA Ivalice game. Bring back Yasumi Matsuno. Bring back Matsuno-san. Bring back Yaz. Bring back Yaz and the rest of Ivalice. I want Vagrant Story to be remastered. Actually, it should be. I feel like Vagrant Story should be remastered. It's one of those games that probably could really use it. You did it for an Alliance raid. That's not enough! That's not enough! Bring Yaz back for a full Ivalice game. I've always... Okay, one of the things that I had a discussion with, like, many years ago with, what do you call that? With one of my senpais, is that, we talked about Valkyrie, not Profile. What was that game? Valkyria Chronicles. Square Enix, no, play Triangle Strategy first. I will eventually. Valkyria Chronicles. So me and a senpai were talking about Valkyria Chronicles and how and we both kind of agreed that we both agreed that Valkyria Chronicles seemed like the natural progression of where tactical strategy games were going. And it did not happen. You know? And I kind of understand why. But at the same time, I am a little sad that we don't have more games like Valkyria Chronicles. I think only a few games followed the same mechanics. Yeah, like the general Valkyria Chronicles sequels as well. I do feel like that they should have localized that. Was it Valkyria Chronicles 3 on the PSP? That darker one, they should have. We never got it ported to the English market. Because I played Valkyria Chronicles 2, which is basically like Academy, you know, where you turn them all into students. And it became like a high school anime with tactics. I liked it though. I liked it. But, you know, it's definitely not what I signed up for, having played Valkyria Chronicles. But I do wish that they had, you know, translated the third Valkyria Chronicles game. Something like The Lost Unit or something like that? I can't remember the name of what was that third game. The Unrecorded Chronicles. Man, it looked so good. I wanted it to be. I wanted Valkyria Chronicles 3 to be localized so bad. And because of that, I dropped off like the entire franchise afterwards. I was tempted to try out Valkyria Chronicles 4, but I never got around to actually playing it. Anybody know if Valkyria Chronicles 4 is actually any good? Or am I just coping? Never got the chance to play it. The reviews for it seem actually pretty solid. Like, the Metacritic scores are like 80 plus. You know? Destructoid gave it 8 out of 10. Game Informer 9 out of 10. GameSpot 8 out of 10. IGN 8.7 out of 10. Push, I don't know what Push Square is, but they gave it 9 out of 10. So it looked like it was good, but I feel bad that I haven't played it. Maybe I should. Did it really? It's on PC as well, so I should probably check it out. Should probably check it out. Where is it? Let me check Steam. Valkyria Chronicles 4. Wait, what? It's in my library? Since when? Since when did I have Valkyria Chronicles 4 in my library? What? The flying fuck? I don't have the DLC. Maybe it came in with one of the Humble Bundles or some shit. Maybe it came with one of the, like, Humble Bundles or something. Because, like, I feel like that's the only way I would have ever picked it up. The fuck? How do I... Huh? Yeah, I have all the... No, I have all the DLC, too. Apparently, I have Valkyria Chronicles 4 Complete Edition. When the fuck did I get this game? I guess I'm gonna play it. I'm still waiting for Valkyria 3 to get released, though. That hasn't changed. I still want to play Valkyria 3. It looked like it was super cool. I did a silly... I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if my Steam library is even... I don't know if I even know my Steam library properly. Let's see. Man, I wish I could play this game. Wait, why do I own a copy? Yeah, that's happening. That is today. I think I remember when you bought them too. Really? How come you remember, but I don't? Man. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I think you streamed buying it during a Steam sale in 2022. Because afterwards, you called me and talked to me about it nonstop for 2 hours and then said, okay, gotta sleep. Huh, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. I have 120-ish games on my Steam account. I haven't touched like 30 of them. I think... You know what? Maybe let me check with SteamDB. Let me check my what do you call that? My SteamDB wall of shame and check my calculator. Wait, what? No, that's not my correct account. Oh, okay. No. There we go. What? This isn't me. This is not my account. I think I'm gonna need my my actual proper ID number thing, because it seems like there may be people with a similar what do you call it? Similar like username, like display name. Oh, that's my ID. Okay. There we go. This is my account. So, according to this, what am I looking for? Here we go. Games I have. What's this? Where is that? Number of games. I have 675 games. That is how many games I have in my library. I have played 278 out of the 675, which roughly means I've played about 41% of my library. Only 40%, less than half. And I have and of those 278, 69 of them, nice, I have played for more than 12 hours or more. So about what's the math on that? 69 over 278. So about a quarter, about 1/4 of the games that I have played for more than 12 hours. So I think that's fine. I don't think my library is that unhealthy. I do need to play more of my library, though, admittedly. And maybe some of them I need to play for longer. Yeah. Oh, and according to this, the amount of hours I have on record, right? The hours that I have on record, apparently, on Steam is 10,189 hours. So yeah, played all of the nominees. Most of them were not deserving. Well, welcome to the opinion pile, Zierus. Oh, your opinion is just as valid as mine and everybody else's. And unfortunately, the awards are just awards. They shouldn't take away from our enjoyment of the game. We did get some pretty interesting picks, though. We did get some pretty interesting picks. Game awards are one big joke to sell us games. I mean, that is an unfortunate fact that, you know, especially in today's age, that a lot of these awards are exactly that. I did describe that the Game Awards earlier was like the Super Bowl, except if you swapped around the Super Bowl commercial time with the actual game time. So definitely a criticism that could stand to be fixed. Like, I wish we could, you know, we could make more, we could place more importance in the actual categories. Because we did talk about, like, oh, some categories were all, yeah, this is category A. Nominees are X, Y, Z, J. The winner, J. And that's it. You know? Like, that? Come on. Best simulation, or strategy game deserves better than that. You know? It deserves better than just literally 5 to 10 seconds of you announcing the game category, the nominees, and then the winner. The awards should do better to make us feel like that these awards are worth something, instead of trying to rush us to the next commercial. You know, like, how is, like I said, I've repeated this earlier and I'm going to repeat it again. How are we supposed to feel like that winning best sim or best strategy means something if they're going to just gloss over the category in 10 seconds? Just like a game that needs better pacing? Yeah, it does. It does need better pacing. And, like, I get it, you know, like, it's exciting to see new games get announced and stuff, but let's not forget that this is supposed to be a celebration of the games that did really well. The games whose specific content people enjoyed. Even needed to include every category and aspects in awards. Like, you know, we could do that a little better. You know, the awards could do a little bit better of that for us to appreciate the things that make the games great. And hopefully, you know, hopefully we'll figure that out at some point in the future. Right? Hopefully that is something that we can better, you know, address. And more importantly, and I would say maybe even more importantly than all of this, people need to fucking chill. You know? It's just an award show. People need to fucking chill out. We're not murdering anybody's fucking firstborn or shit like that, you know? If you're gonna get your fucking panties in a bunch, so much so that you're gonna find yourself sourpussing everywhere until you've completely run dry, you may want to consider, you know, getting help. I used to participate in awarding bodies before, and making nominations and choosing nominees is a pain. It's like a Thieves of Defense. Yeah, You know, like I feel like I feel like there is also like a lot of, it's hard to also create a kind of environment where we have, okay, let's spare firstborn. How about secondborn? How about this? Let's do thirdborn and a possible second draft pick. How's that, Blue Lightning? Secondborn and maybe a thirdborn and a second draft cousin. That sounds like a better idea. that I'm willing to go with. If you are fine with that. Good deal. A gentleman's agreement. So let's remember, thirdborn and then second draft cousin. Let's go. To think of us, sheep, more or less, gamers, we are just consumers, games don't matter. They'd be like, oh yeah, this game won this, let's move on. The game's won that, etc., etc. And it could be better, you know? I mean, we are consumers, yes. And hopefully the industry, that is something that the industry can change. Because I do feel like when we have, you know, certain people in the industry that feel very passionate about what they do and put the experience of the games first, as long as we have those kinds of people in the industry, there is hope. You know? As long as we have studios that strive to deliver their best work in service of the experience, there is hope. Exactly. And then we got stuff like EA and Ubisoft. There are always going to be companies like EA and Ubisoft. There are always going to be companies that will try to nickel and dime you out of everything that you own. They are not going to go away anytime soon. And it becomes important. That is when it becomes important for us as consumers to put our money where our mouth is. In order for us to support the studios and the games that align best with our interest and the things that we value. Then we have Arrowhead, who put love and care and detail into their games. Yeah. Industry that the industry is being led by those. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good example where we have Helldivers 2, right? Where it is a good game that has unfortunately had some bad trouble because of its publisher, Sony, right? As a gamer, I believe they should not decide for us what is Game of the Year. Here's the thing about that, though. Here's the thing about the awards, at least the Game Awards. That it means nothing. It is not some kind of official governing body that says that, oh, officially this is the Game of the Year and there is no questioning this. You know, it's an award. That's why I said that it's like, it's not something that we should take very seriously. Like, that's why I said people need to chill out. Because this is literally just one entity, right, that is choosing to award these, you know, games and developers, etc., according to their rules, according to their things, right? It does not have to impact what we as consumers will do with our support. You know? Just because, for example, they gave you know, just because Game of the Year goes to Astrobot doesn't mean that we can't support the other nominees like Balatro or Wukong or whatever, right? It's not like they're an official body. They are not necessarily any more authoritative than the rest of us. I find it funny, some people still use the I'm a gamer card over everything. Feels more like gatekeeping. Yeah, it's like the thing is, at the end of the day, we're all in the same boat as far as like what you think the Game of the Year is. This entire show is just kind of like, you know, one person, like one group's hot take on it, and we can all just kind of like, yeah, you know, it's a discussion point. We're watching it, we can agree or disagree with whatever wins Game of the Year or not, and I think discussions like that can be a good thing. As long as none of us end up getting too fucking salty or some shit, just because the one that gets picked isn't the one that we wanted. It's okay if what you thought was best did not win this whatever award this is. And that's fine. We can talk about that. We can talk about the merits of, like, you know, what we enjoyed about this game, about that game, why we like this one more. You know? And I think people need to stop getting so butthurt about, what do you call that? About meaningless things like titles and awards. At least from anything that isn't like an official body or anything. Yeah, it's not like the official board of the gamer of all time. You know, it's an event being run by a group of people, right, who have their own set of, you know, tastes and biases in games, right? And it's gonna be okay if they have their own set of choices that you don't agree with. The gaming enthusiast in this specific case being Jeff, yeah. So, you know, we have to kind of remember that this isn't like super official. It's just another group, you know, another group of people who have the money to run their own show and kind of, you know, basically put it on display. So I think, you know, we all just need to kind of chill out. People should be hyped that others put something like the Game Awards together at all. Yeah, actually, here's another thing. I saw some, you want to know what I hate? I hate the entire, the argument, the quote-unquote argument, when something wins and somebody says, I've never heard of that before. I absolutely hate that argument. Because why the fuck are you mad? Are you not supposed to be happy that something can be really good that you've never heard about? It means there is something out there that is potentially good for you to experience. Why would you be mad that something can potentially be good that you've never heard of? Bro, come on. Yeah, so that's why I really hate that argument. You know? Like, I would be happy. It's like, oh shit, that game is good? I've never heard of it? Shit, let me try it out. You know? We got an ad coming up in a minute. Okay, yeah, there's gonna be another YouTube, Twitch ad coming up. But yeah, you know, like, that's why I hate that argument so much. It's like, I'd be fucking ecstatic and fucking excited as shit if it's like, oh, that's a good game? Hell yeah. Take a shot for every new ad popping out. Oh, that sounds like a pretty fun drinking thing. As you said earlier about how they do so little for each award, just trying to keep moving on. Yeah, it's like the Game Awards isn't run by people who play games. It's yeah, like, you know, like the Game Awards isn't perfect. Like nothing is ever going to be, you know. No singular Game Awards is ever going to be like the one, because at the end of the day we all have our own individual tastes and preferences, that it's gonna be difficult for you to get a one-to-one match with any awarding body or whatever. It just so happens that the Game Awards is like the big one right now. Oh shit, ads. Forgot what I was trying to say. Oh, is that we're all, I think, yeah, we're all just what do you call that? We're all individuals with our own unique tastes and preferences. So you're never gonna have like an awarding ceremony or whatever that's gonna perfectly line up with you, unless it's one that you do yourself. Ads done. I see. Welcome back. Welcome back. So yeah, that's, you know, that those are kind of my thoughts on it. Welcome, Manu. Welcome to the stream. We're independent thinkers. Yeah, we're all gonna have our own different tastes. So you can have like 3 or 4 different, you know, award ceremonies. Yes, there are gonna be common ones, sure. But are they all gonna be exactly the same? Ad time. Wait, is that even does that work? No, I don't think. Oh, there is an ad in progress. No. I see. You know what? Take 2 shots. Hang on, give me a second. Here you go. I feel a little bad for you. Huh. There you go, cat. Enjoy. On the house. Sua, welcome. You're my second most watched. Congratulations. Thank you. I am truly honored. Sua. A lot of people have been telling me that, hey, you're on my, what do you call that? Like, you're on the top 1 or something. Thank you. I appreciate second place. Any placing, honestly, is just very, you know, it's honestly, it's a big deal. You know, thank you for choosing to have spent your time with me, watching streams, you know? So thank you. I think they improved from last year's rushing the winners on their speech. I'm glad they did, but I feel like it's still, there's always room for improvement when it comes to the Game Awards. There's always going to be room for improvement. But yeah. It's alright, Manu. We're actually ending, what do you call that? We're actually ending pretty soon. It is already midnight, and I still have an appointment tomorrow in the morning. So if you guys would like to stay tuned and continue watching more streams, we will be raiding. I'm trying to look for someone to raid now, actually. I'm sorry, Sue. We've been streaming for the last 3 hours, and I have an appointment tomorrow, so I can't really stay too long. unfortunately. I wish I could stay. Next week, we'll be playing long into the night, though, because we'll be having the Baldur's Gate stream. So if you happen to be free then, that'd be nice. Yes, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Suwa. Go ahead, recommend, and I will go and rate them. I do remember that I promised you that. Drop the name. Yeah, because I remember Suwa was new, I think, at the time. Was still pretty new. I think you asked that when we were playing Deliver Us of the Moon, I think, was it? Was it Deliver Us of the Moon when you wanted, or was it, yeah, when you wanted to recommend, or was something else? I can't remember. So let me just check them out and give them a quick, ooh. Oh, they're still in their starting screen. Okay, okay. Let's, have they been on the thing for a while? 9 minutes. Okay. Let's see. Let's wait a little bit until they're actually on their stream. Oh, there they are. Okay. Here we go. So, raid messages incoming. Make sure to check it out. Oh, thank you. That is the raid message. And before we go, of course, let me just do a quick plugging in. If you are on Twitch, please make sure to check out the YouTube channel as well. That's where we post the VODs right away. And if you are on YouTube, then please also make sure to check out the Twitch channel. Any support is always very much appreciated. And I want to thank you guys for hanging out. It's been super fun yapping for like the past 3 hours. You know, it's always super fun, especially when we get to talk about a lot of things. Discord, aye, that we do. That link should work. Fingers crossed. I think. I think that works. Otherwise, yeah. So let's go ahead and raid. Let's go ahead. So, right. So, with that said, thank you guys for dropping by. It's been super fun. Tomorrow we will not be streaming. It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up. Oh shit. Yeah, so tomorrow we won't be streaming, but I will be able to post a schedule for next week. All right, and we also got to have some stuff ready for the holidays coming up. So I hope you guys will consider tuning in. Make sure you follow on all the socials as well. And I'll see you guys next week then. Have you guys a wonderful, wonderful weekend ahead. And I'll see you all on Tuesday. Bye, guys. Oh, and if you're on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. Ciao.